Hey everybody, what's going on? It's another episode, and who better to do another episode than Mr. Chris Sampson? What's going on, my friend?
Oh, what up, Ben? It's great to be back on Nerdbone. It's been a while.
It has been a while. In fact, it's been so long, I can't even remember if we actually posted the episode or not, because,
I'm pretty sure we did.
Did we?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. I listened to it. I should know.
I hope you listened to it.
Yeah, it was all about...
I hope it posted.
If you missed it, it was all about conventions. And it was a mini con survival guide. How to maximize your time, how to enjoy yourself, how to take care of yourself at cons.
Especially because, okay, so I knew I was going to be doing a couple of cons with you, but now, at this point, I believe it's 10. A solid 10.
We upped the ante a lot.
We did, yes. Yeah. I went from, 5 to...
Are you complaining, Ben?
No, I'm not complaining. It was just, it was a very interesting day when you came to me with your phone. It was like, okay, so... hey man,
you got cons, or you want them? You got them.
You want them? You got them. Yeah, absolutely. But no, I'm super excited. We're going to be doing a lot of traveling and a lot of podcasting with that travel. Mm-hmm. I realize now that I have. All right, so some of them we're going to be driving.
Yes,
and we're going to be taking the company van, which is totally cool. Except I thought we might podcast in the van. Having now driven it just between here and the other warehouse, I realized that it's way too loud in there.
Well,
acoustic
that's why
wise.
we need to soundproof it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think that's street legal.
We'll totally be allowed to do that. Yeah, for sure.
We'll figure it out.
But yeah, so we got all those coming up, and I posted some of those dates on the Nerdbone, not website, Facebook page and all that jazz. But... there is a lot of stuff that has dropped this week.
So much. We
have trailers, we have announcements, and all that jazz, and we need to sort through some of this stuff.
We live an unprecedented time of nerddom, Ben.
We do.
Just for example, the Marvel's feather in their cap, the Avengers Endgame movie.
Yep.
Tickets are already sold out for opening day. They're reselling at $10,000.
Yes.
And they're also doing like a 5 or 6 day marathon.
Yes.
For 22 movies? Yeah, 22 movies.
It's 22 movies at about an hour and a half each.
That's so much TV.
I think the average is an hour and a half.
That's so much Marvel. I love it. It's great.
Although I do think to myself stuff like, like I've seen Iron Man so many times now. That I can just put it on in the background, really.
It's like comfort food. It's like white noise.
Yeah. There are some movies I would have to rewatch, though. Although, to be perfectly honest, Thor Dark World doesn't really have anything to do with... maybe a little bit.
Confession, I still haven't seen Thor Dark World.
That's right, yeah. If I remember correctly, it's not really important to the series as a whole. So, yeah.
And Taika Waititi just came in.
Blew it out of the water.
So
good. So good. I'm super excited for more Taika.
Yeah.
But, so, what have we got in nerd news that you want to talk about this week?
All right. So, I define myself as a huge anime fan.
Yes.
So, this broke a few hours ago. So Netflix, I guess within the last 6 months, they announced that they were doing a live action adaptation of Cowboy Bebop, the iconic space western anime by Shinichiro Watanabe. Now Netflix and live action adaptations in general have been getting a major grain of salt because, to be honest, there's not that many good ones out there. But it's hard. But like the needle is moving towards the right direction. For example, Battle Angel Alita, which came out, I want to say like maybe within the last 2 months.
Yeah, it was recent.
It's pretty recent. It got a lot of good reviews.
Cool.
It made a ton of money.
Good.
Which is great. So that means Hollywood and Netflix can bet more on adapting anime, and Netflix has already done so with like Castlevania.
Right.
They also stumbled with Death Note, But
you didn't have to go there.
I mean,
You didn't have to go there.
see. I don't blame Netflix for Death Note. I blame the director Adam Wingard. Because
I blame the director, and I blame whatever. I'm sure Netflix has many producers for many different areas, so I'm sort of blaming the producer at the same time. I don't know.
The best thing they did, the one thing they got right was Willem Dafoe as Ryuk. He was the best.
So here's the thing. I have not watched it.
Okay.
But I want to watch it for Willem Dafoe.
Okay.
Because
you and I should
amazing.
get drunk and hate watch it together.
Absolutely.
Anyway, so that was a long way of saying I love anime, and I'm of weak constitution, so I will watch any live action anime because I'm the type of guy who doesn't want to knock it until I actually seen it.
Right.
Now, earlier today, John Cho was announced as Spike Spiegel
for
the series, which is awesome. Now, admittedly, I've only seen Harold Kumar and his work in Star Trek as Sulu.
Right.
Now, Ben, you could fill me in. He's done a lot of other really good work in the theater and on TV.
That I've heard about.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well then,
I've heard about and I've read about. I haven't really seen any of it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I think I don't know. I'm perfectly comfortable with that casting.
Mm-hmm.
I do wonder, are they going to do true live action, or are they going to do like a motion capture type deal with more like realistic facial features and stuff like that? But I
think based on the four major players they casted so far, so they casted Spike, they casted Faye, they cast Jet Black, and they casted Vicious.
Right.
And I could definitely see, like, based on how they look, I think they're going for like actual live action instead of mocap.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I have not seen Love, Death, and Robots yet, but I have seen like previews and that sort of thing, as well as the crazy animation style of Into the Spider-Verse and that sort of deal. I feel like I wouldn't be surprised if they did like a balance of like motion capture and that type of like weird, I don't know. I don't want to call it totally green screen, but filming it live action and enhancing it with animated stuff,
I mean, the original Cowboy Bebop was just so stylish.
Yeah.
Especially like one of the most iconic opening anime sequences of all time.
Yeah.
Like, now that you're spinning that, I could definitely see like some super stylized, like I don't know, like the layover or masking effect to give it like that that this really cool anime aesthetic.
Almost like anime cinematic. I know what you mean.
Yeah. But
so we'll see.
In either way, like, I'm really excited, and I know a lot of people are salty about John Cho, or just the fact that Cowboy Bebop is being adapted anyway, and.
Why are they salty about it being adapted? I don't understand. Well,
I mean, I'm guilty of throwing it out, but I think it's just an unfair example because like Netflix and Death Note,
Right.
Yes. It's, I mean, that doesn't stop. I mean, just because you did one bad movie, that doesn't mean you should.
Yeah, you should keep trying.
You know how long it took for like Marvel to get their head straight? Like we had a couple of bad Hulk movies.
Yeah, it took a long time.
And, we also had a rough period where we had a couple of bad or not as good Batman movies. And then Chris Nolan came out with Batman Begins.
Right,
in 2005. I don't know. I think it's worth it to take the risk.
For sure.
And that being said, let's say the live action Netflix Cowboy Bebop movie or TV show tanks.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, you still have the original. You still have the movie. It's always going to be there.
Yeah, it's never going to be... It's not meant to replace anything.
Yeah.
It's just, just taking it to another level.
Yeah, taking it to a different medium. And I think there's always going to be pros and cons. And Shinichiro Watanabe's work is always going to be iconic. And,
yes.
and again, I don't want to knock it until we see it because I think the casting's great. Now we don't know who Ed and Ein is going to be,
Right.
And those two are one of my all-time favorite characters.
I don't even remember what they look like.
Ed is a young girl, so I would say like if they're going to cast someone,
Ed.
she should be like
And
between like 13 to 15.
right.
Red hair, goggles,
Right.
maybe some freckles, and then Ein's a corgi.
I mean, I don't know. But I feel like you could put that hair on anybody,
You know what?
now that I'm looking at it.
It's coming to me, Millie Bobby Brown.
Okay. I didn't want to say Millie Bobby Brown. I love her so much.
Okay.
But I feel like it would be much better with a small Japanese girl,
Okay.
for sure.
Okay.
But I just don't know who. No, I don't really know any, like off the top of my head.
young-
And actually, I would be more interested in somebody that I've never heard of.
You know
I
what? It should be some Japanese idol, like one of the girls from Baby Metal.
Or something. Yeah. Oh no, that would be amazing.
That'd be so cool.
Yeah. But okay, we're gonna skip ahead. I want to skip ahead a little bit.
Okay.
Because you are now fresh off of seeing the Joker trailer.
Yes.
I have watched it probably, I don't know, 36 times since it dropped yesterday.
Okay. About like 10, 15 minutes ago, this is the first time I watched the trailer.
Right. So, first thoughts.
It's being produced by Martin Scorsese.
Right.
You can really see the influence.
Absolutely.
It is gritty. It is grounded.
Yeah.
It is bleak.
Yeah.
And somber.
Right.
I love it. I think I had some. I didn't have. Okay, it's not so much misgivings, but I had my eyebrows raised. Oh, Joaquin Phoenix. I did not expect that choice, but seeing him, just like really, he seems like he's really chewing and really enjoying just being really weird, and he's done like weird off ball roles in the past.
Yeah.
Or just maybe like left of center. I was just explaining this to you before. This is like the Chris Nolan treatment, but just for Joker exclusively. They're playing it really straight, really, really grounded.
Right.
And I think that's a great. I mean, what's great about just comics or just just any medium, everyone has their own subjective spin, their own tone, their own flavor, and I don't think we've ever seen a Joker like this before.
No, really not. And like, I don't know, like Joaquin Phoenix almost feels like, it's going to sound weird, but the stuff that I've seen Joaquin Phoenix in, I feel like it's almost a layup to have him be Joker. Like, it's almost too easy. And I don't know. I've seen a lot, and you said about Scorsese, and I can't remember who the director is off the top of my head, but there was a lot of
Todd Phillips.
Phillips, yeah.
He's directed like the Hangover movies,
right.
Old School, Limitless.
Right. So I saw a lot of comments online about visual similarities between this and Taxi Driver, and that sort of thing. But I just, based off of what I saw and knowing Joaquin Phoenix and what they have said before about the series, which is that it's going to be, or not the series, the movie. I wish it was going to be a series, but with this movie it's really a study of the psychosis of the Joker, and I'm really into that because nowadays when we think of Batman, back in the 90s movies, there was a difference between Bruce Wayne and Batman. Like, when he got into Batman mode, basically, then that was his mode. But then once he took off the suit, he was Bruce Wayne again. But, like, through the Dark Knight series, the Dark Knight trilogy and all that jazz, we've come to understand that Bruce Wayne and Batman are not separate people. Or not separated in the mind.
We saw a lot of how Bruce Bruce's mental and physical state like just degraded over time, and
Yeah.
so showing that he like Bruce Wayne does have limits, and the fact that he couldn't be Batman forever. I mean, obviously in the comics, like he will always be Batman. He will always turn on happiness or like the love of his life, Catwoman. But here in the Chris Nolan, like if you taking that grounded approach, you see that like it does take a toll on Bruce, and it's very realistic. I love that about Chris Nolan's work.
Yeah, and it's very it's almost hard to explain. I love that there are no blurred lines between Bruce and Batman. Mm-hmm. And I feel like this is going to unblur the lines of who the Joker is. Like, this is not just some dude on the weekend who feels like putting on makeup and causing some chaos, and then he goes back to being somebody else. Mm-hmm. This is him 100% of the time, all the time, and this movie explains why, basically.
The Joker is.
Right, right. Yeah. And it's like I know that they changed things from like different comic book aspects and stuff like that. Of like his name in the movie is Arthur Fleck. It's not Jack Napier or anything like that. Just little things. But
but also like his true identity is never really known. It's
right.
Like, it's always an unreliable narrator kind of thing.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm super excited. Yeah. That's all I know.
Yeah,
I'm totally gonna watch it.
And it's interesting because, it's kind of going full circle because Warner Brothers used to do these movies where they're like standalone, where like Superman was in his entire its own cinematic universe. Right. So is Batman, and now that the DCEU as we know it is changed fundamentally. Yeah. I feel like we're going to see more of these independent standalone movies. Yeah. Kind of like the Elseworld brand or imprint, but just for movies. And you could do a lot with that. You could do, I don't know, like a Harvey Two-Face movie. Like, can you imagine like a straight up like Scorsese gangster movie just all about Harvey Dent? I mean, yes, for sure. Yeah. I mean, we've seen how great it could be with Nolan, but you could do that with any of the Batman's Rogues Gallery.
And I could even imagine like an Alan Moore style, or let's go filmmaker, like a who did Pan's Labyrinth?
Oh, Del Toro.
Like a Guillermo del Toro, like semi-horror flick about Killer Croc.
Or that?
Something like that, you know?
I have like the perfect one for Del Toro. Okay. Have you read this graphic novel called Arkham Asylum, A Serious House on Serious Earth?
I've heard of it, but I've not seen it.
Oh, it's so good. Like, it has art by Bill Sienkiewicz. And it's like, it has like a classic storyline of the villains taking over Arkham Asylum. Right. But how it's written, it's like entering like a warped twisted version like Alice in Wonderland. And it's also moving through the asylum. It's like a giant allegory for moving through the various psyches of Batman himself. So it's more so like a psychological self study of like of how his life as Batman and all this psychological quirks give power to all these other villains. And it's just Del Toro would be the perfect fit because it is so trippy and like dreamlike and surrealistic, and like the characters are portrayed in such drastically different and colorful interpretations. It's I think and actually it was really cool because someone did a fan trailer like back in like 2000, like mid 2000s, of what a Del Toro, a Serious House and Serious Earth Arkham movie would look like, and it's like, oh my god, I need this in my life right now.
I need this in my life. Yeah. You would rip open my arm and stick it directly into my vein and just juice me, man. Juice me.
True facts.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think it would be really interesting to do like non-extended universe one-offs. Mm-hmm. Like we've got this Joker movie, right?
I want Superman Red Sun as a movie.
That would be amazing. That'd be
so good.
Superman Red Sun, but you could do like, I don't know. I just keep thinking of Rogue One. I would love to see some type of movie where it's characters that are in the universe, but they're only slightly a part of the universe. You know, like a bank robbery gone wrong or something like that. And the one guy decides to take a job with this new guy in town. He calls himself the Joker, like that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And Batman never shows up or anything like that. But you could have Batman show up at certain areas, and it would be that director's take on Batman briefly, you know, or that sort of thing. I don't know.
Yeah. We should. Yeah.
I know.
Why are we in Hollywood? Ben?
I have to start writing things. People need to call me. DC. Just
add us.
Just call me.
Yeah.
Just add me.
Yeah. One more thing about Batman movies. Why haven't we gotten a Batman Beyond live action movie yet?
I keep waiting.
And like, you know, there's this has been circulating on the internet, and it's been signal boosted by Kevin Smith. But like, how awesome would it be for Michael Keaton to be Old Man Bruce, and then, you know, you have a young Terry McGinnis, and then my God, I don't get me wrong, I always loved the Batman animated series, but like, I was at that ripe age of like, I want to say like 12 or 13 when Batman Beyond came out, and like that's just captured my imagination. Like it's just it's like part anime, part like cyberpunk, and like
and it turned out to be such a good almost sequel. I want to call it a sequel. It was such a good and well put together sequel for the animated series.
Yeah, and then it tied it all in a neat bow with like Justice League animated or Unlimited. It's like the epilogue episode where like spoilers, big reveal. Like,
spoilers.
Terry is Bruce's biological son. It's crazy.
Did they really do that?
Oh, you didn't know?
No, I didn't know that. See, spoilers don't bother me.
Okay.
I'm not an anti-spoiler.
Do you want to explain it to you later?
Yeah, you're gonna have to explain it to me.
Okay.
Explain it to me tomorrow before we see. Oh yeah, so we're going to see a movie tomorrow.
Yeah.
What are we going to see?
I'm going to see Captain Marvel.
Okay.
The other Captain Marvel.
For clarification, Chris keeps asking me if I want to go see Captain Marvel.
Shazam.
And I'm like, yeah, I do want to see Captain Marvel. I haven't seen it yet. And then he's like, well, it hasn't come out yet. It comes out tomorrow. I'm like, oh, you mean Shazam?
Yeah. I'm so sorry.
No, it's totally fine.
The only Captain Marvel I read in my younger years was the DC Captain Marvel. It wasn't until very much recently with like Kelly Sue DeConnick's run that I read like the new Captain Marvel, and I love the movie. It was great. Right. But like I just want to call Zach Levi Captain Marvel.
I understand, and they're probably going to reference that at some point too. Like they gotta say something about it, you know. So, but we'll see. Yeah. But either way, we're gonna go see it tomorrow.
It's gonna be great,
and it should be fun. I'm super excited for it, and this is another thing where I'm fine with scrapping the extended universe, at least for a little while, and doing like one-off movies. Like I'm sure Shazam will have a sequel because it looks amazing.
Yeah,
but it's a very lighthearted tone to it.
You see, DC movies are actually having fun again,
right?
Which is excellent.
And if you pick and choose the characters correctly, you know. And then maybe at some points you can have somebody show up in somebody else's movie. But, you know, don't just rush to that because you think that's the way you got to do it. Like
that was the major flaw of DC and Warner Brothers. They felt so pressured to catch up with Marvel. Yeah. And then they did the inverse. No, they should just build up the universe. Just flat out copy Marvel's model. Right. It worked.
Yeah.
And like
they started with Iron Man. And then what was it? The Incredible Hulk, I think.
There was the Incredible Hulk, and then there was Iron Man, and then there was like the Edward Norton Hulk, but that wasn't.
Well, the Edward Norton Hulk was the Incredible Hulk.
Well, there was another Hulk before that.
Yeah, that was just called the Hulk.
That was just
yeah. There's the Eric Bana Hulk, and then Iron Man, and then the Incredible Hulk with Edward Norton. Which I really liked Edward Norton. I had hoped that it was going to work out for him. Although I have to say, I'm really, really happy with what's his face.
Mark Ruffalo.
Mark Ruffalo.
So
I love
charming.
Mark Ruffalo.
He's so good.
He's in this movie called The Kids Are Alright. Super cute. Anyway, so
I forget what was after. Was it Captain America: The First Avenger, or is it Thor? I don't remember which came. I'm such a horrible fan.
Look, okay, here's how I think it went. I'm pretty sure it was Iron Man, and then the Incredible Hulk, and then Iron Man 2, Thor, Captain America, Iron Man 3.
And then Captain America.
I'm awful at this too.
And my internet's already.
Oh no!
Terrible. Hold
Probably
on.
because you're on the same...
Stall, Ben. Stall.
Okay, fine, I'm stalling. But in any case, I think what they have to do, what DC has to do is just take a step back, do individual movies again, do an individual Shazam, do an individual...
Meme where they just announced, actor so-and-so announced he's interested in being Batman.
Yeah, people being interested in being Batman. Yeah. So, because, I mean, Ben Affleck officially, stepped aside, I think. But the director is still on hand. Mm-hmm. But I would love to see the Batman. And I would love to see, we're going to go see Shazam / Captain Marvel. And then
Aquaman was awesome.
And Wonder Woman was amazing.
Yes.
I'm super pumped for the sequel, that sort of thing.
Didn't they? I want an actual good Green Lantern movie.
I want that, but I'm not ready for that yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
We have other heroes to play in the toy box.
Skip Superman completely, because I'm so fucking over Superman. It's ridiculous. Skip Superman. No Green Lantern. Love to see Martian Manhunter.
Yes.
Love to see Martian Manhunter, but that's probably not the first go-to after a Batman.
Who was it? Oh, it was like David Goyer, who was like, I'm not going to write a Martian Manhunter character into my movie. That's stupid. It's like, no.
It is not stupid.
He's amazing.
Get out of my face.
Okay.
Did you look it up?
Yes. Okay, so May 2008, Iron Man. June 2008, Incredible Hulk. May 2010, Iron Man 2.
Right.
May 2011, Thor.
Hey, I got it right.
Yeah. July 2011, Captain America: The First Avenger.
Right.
And then May 2012, Marvel's The Avengers.
Nice. And then that was phase 1.
Yeah, phase 2, Iron Man 3.
Poop.
Thor: The Dark World.
Poop.
Captain America: The Winter Soldier.
Yay!
So good.
Made up for the other two.
I know. Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yay!
And by the way, congrats, James Gunn, for getting your job back.
I love you, James Gunn.
James Gunn, you're so good. Avengers: Age of Ultron.
Right. It's serviceable.
Ant-Man. I love
Yay!
Ant-Man. I love Ant-Man. Captain America: Civil War.
Amazing.
So good. Doctor Strange.
Amazing.
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Amazing.
Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Perfect.
Thor: Ragnarok.
Amazing.
Yes, very. Black Panther.
Still haven't seen.
Oh, it's very good.
I've not seen.
Okay.
I believe everybody that it is very good.
That's on Netflix.
I just don't know. I just haven't seen it yet.
It's on Netflix. Go.
I know.
Avengers: Infinity War.
Right.
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Haven't seen it yet.
Very good.
Also on Netflix, I'm pretty sure.
Yes, it is.
Yep.
Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. Captain Marvel and Avengers: Endgame. And then Phase 4, you got Spider-Man: Far From Home.
Is that all they have announced for Phase 4?
Well, they also have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Black Panther 2.
Right.
And after that, who knows?
So here's something we were talking about that I was thinking about in the car on the way to lunch the other day. So yesterday? I think it was yesterday.
It was yesterday.
Because, I mean, we talk about Marvel stuff all the time.
We do.
And DC stuff. I have this weird feeling that it's not going to be Endgame that actually puts an end on the Infinity War saga. I think the period at the end of the sentence is going to be Guardians of the Galaxy 3. It probably was not meant to be that way, But with all the stuff with James Gunn and stuff like that, I think it is going to end up being that way.
Okay.
And I think it's going to be an introductory thing to other characters in the Marvel universe that exist out in space, basically. Like, we've already had, background hints and stuff like that about Adam Warlock.
Yeah, they had a cameo. He had a cameo. Like, his cocoon was in the first Guardians, and we never heard from him again.
Right. So we've got, we've got the Starjammers, we've got Adam Warlock, we've got Nova. Yeah. They had the Nova Corps, and
well, weren't they blown up?
But
they should rebuild it.
The story is the planet is blown up or whatever. Something happens to the planet.
Because Thanos wanted the Infinity Stone on that planet.
Right.
Yeah.
John C. Reilly's character had a name. Mm-hmm. I can't remember what the name of that character is, but that's the character who, before everything is destroyed, grabs the Nova Prime armor, escapes to Earth, and gives it to whatever the kid's name is. I can never remember.
Okay.
So we can have a Nova, we can have an Adam Warlock, we can have the Starjammers.
And with the Starjammers, that's a great way of connecting to X-Men, because like the Fox and Disney deal is amazing. And like one of my favorite, somewhat recent storylines is 16-year-old Scott Summers being taken to the future,
right?
And he's like, "Well, I'm just gonna go to space and hang out with my space pirate dad."
Yeah,
and
might as well.
And that was a run for a while. That's awesome.
Yeah. So obviously lots of potential, lots of things we want to see. But I think we're going to wrap up here, because we're going to go see the movie tomorrow.
Yeah.
And we should probably podcast after, or something.
Yes.
We'll see. Yes. We'll see how late it gets.
Okay.
But,
wait, one last hot take.
Yeah.
Okay. So what would you like to see after the Infinity War saga? I would love to see, like, Silver Surfer as the Harbinger show up, come to Earth, and then we have the Fantastic Four, then Galactus or something like that.
Okay. I'm going to lay it out.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Feige, turn up your fucking volume, okay? We have Endgame.
Mm-hmm.
We have Far From Home.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Black Panther 2.
And Black Panther 2.
Mm-hmm.
Black Panther 2 can come out whenever it feels like.
Mm-hmm.
Guardians of the Galaxy 3, you introduce some of the more interstellar heroes and stuff like that. However, Spider-Man 3, whatever they call it, bring in the Fantastic Four.
Okay.
And
okay, so he's always been like an honorary member of the Fantastic Four.
Yeah. So let's finally get some version of the Sinister Six. He needs help. Yes. So he goes to the Fantastic Four, because the Avengers are no longer a thing unless they decide to do Avengers West Coast, whatever.
Yeah.
So he goes to Fantastic Four, right? So now you've got Fantastic Four. Maybe in some other way you bring up, some other villains like Doctor Doom or something like that.
Oh my god!
But I mean,
we've never had like an actual proper Doctor Doom.
We need a good Doctor Doom.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, but I think the main thing that I want to see is the things that I don't want to see. I don't want to see X-Men for a while. I don't want to see Wolverine for a while. Like, do not rush that stuff. That's my main takeaway. Don't just bring in Galactus just because you feel like you have to.
I mean, well, Galactus is he's going to be like the long game villain. He's like on par with like Thanos.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. So there's definitely things I want to see. I have a ton of ideas, but I just wait like 5 years or so to do X-Men, Wolverine, and all that jazz. Just wait.
Yeah.
Take your time, boys and girls. How about you?
I'm really sad that like the Netflix Defenders properties are like kaput. I mean, they had a sale for all the props, all the costumes, maybe like 2 weeks ago. I hope some private collector bought it and like donated to the Comic-Con museum
or something,
like, just to have it on display, just for posterity. So as much of a I want to say it's an injustice, especially like Daredevil season 3. That was really good.
Yeah.
And You know, those guys are like pitch perfect. Like Iron Fist.
Iron Fist was meh. I thought Luke Cage was meh. I'm not a fan of Jessica Jones at all, but I understand that people who do like Jessica Jones,
I really like Jessica
amazing.
Jones. Yeah.
Defenders was shite, but Daredevil and Punisher
those
were
are
like
very strong,
next level stuff.
I would like to have them, just the Defenders, like be transplanted into the MCU, because it's always so weird to me that they could reference stuff but not explicitly say or have like Chris Hemsworth or like Nick Fury or Coulson show up. I don't know. Try to, because I love the street level crime stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Other than that, one of my, I think we should get another crack at a Ghost Rider movie. Like I want a Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider movie.
That would be amazing.
Because like he shows up in like season 4 of Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. and it's really good.
I've heard about this.
It's really good. Like I fell off of S.H.I.E.L.D. for after season 1.
Me too.
And then season 4 is
it
like,
just
oh my god,
did not really impress me at all.
Yeah, but like Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider, I'm in. Thank you. And his season was so freaking good. And can you imagine just like a camp like Nick Cage is going through this amazing renaissance. Yeah. Just have Nick Cage reprise the mantle of Ghost Rider.
Okay. Here's my okay, we're gonna end on this. Yes, Ghost Rider needs to be redone.
But no Nick Cage.
No Nick Cage.
I love Nick Cage.
Reference Nick Cage if you want to. Have him at the very end or something like that. Robbie Reyes is driving down the highway.
Oh, he passes by a movie poster.
And this no. This chopper, this lone rider on a chopper pulls up. It's Nicolas Cage. He gives a little wink. He drives away.
Okay, I'll be
totally cool.
I'll be really happy with that.
But it's like, I loved the cinematography in the second one. The story was shit. The first one, the story was really cool. Everything else was shit.
I agree.
So,
I was not impressed by their Blackheart.
Not
when
at
I think
all.
of Blackheart, I think like Marvel vs. Capcom Blackheart.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's so cool.
Yeah, some deep shit. Yeah. Which, by the way, okay, ending on this instead. And speaking of DC stuff, I got my last box of mail order comics.
Nice.
It
was like a 3-month thing or 4-month thing?
Yeah, my parents got me a 3-month subscription. It's called Comics Garage. Shout out. And I just flipped through my third box just really quick. And there's one cover of a Batman comic, I think from the 80s, that has Black Mask on the cover.
Oh, really?
And I will have to look into, it might be the first appearance of Black Mask. I don't know.
That's pretty cool.
So I'm going to have to check it out.
Nice.
Anyhoozle, thanks everybody for listening. Thanks for joining us for another stellar episode of talking about all the things that we love to talk about and just listening to two nerds. Just
Nerdbone!
Talk about nerd stuff. Yay! If you want to get in on the nerd conversation, do so by following us, tweet at me. Instagram DM me, I guess? I don't know. I'm not very good at it. I love Instagram, but I'm not very good at it.
Neither am I. Yeah. I'm a noob.
Tweets and the Instagrams at Nerdbone. You are at
Kyo Ninja for Hire. That's KYO Ninja for Hire. All one word.
That's right. And there might be another episode after we go see.
Oh hell yeah!
Shazam, quote unquote, Captain Marvel.
I know. I'm like I'm half trolling, but I know it's Shazam.
Yeah.
Zach Levi, I love you. If you're listening to this, you're amazing.
I love you, Zach. I used to watch
Chuck. Chuck is so good.
So much.
I love it.
All right, everybody. Have a great week. Have a great weekend. Have a great month. Have a great year. See you later.